Doesn't this little nook scream, I need a window bench? And today we're going to be building one. I'm going to show you how I transformed the IKEA Besta drawer units into a stunning DIY built-in bench with storage. This project is perfect for creating a cozy window seat, a stylish reading nook, or even just an entry bench with extra hidden storage. I'll take you through every step, from building a custom base and a comfortable seating cushion and painting it for that perfect high-end look. I'm going to be building a window bench here in front of the window. So as you can see, the builder has already kind of like bunked it out for us. So this is a perfect spot. And the great thing is it's going to have drawers underneath. So there'll be tons of storage for like my kids' toys and blankets and just other things that, you know, you need space in your living room to store stuff too. First up, I'm using the IKEA Besta bench because two of these actually fit really well in the space. They also sell the unit as separate drawers, so if you have like an odd space where you need to add more spacers in between each drawer, you could opt for that option as well. Now, of course, when you're assembling any type of IKEA furniture, make sure you follow the instructions really carefully. I had to rebuild this once, but anyways, I got it sorted out in the end. I went with the white one to start with because I'm going to be painting this later, and I find that white is just a much easier base, but IKEA has lots of different colors in this, and some of the drawer fronts are actually really cool too. After I assembled the second bench, I was actually so thrilled with how this turned out. I love how these look symmetrical side by side, but there is some spacing that we'll need to fill in. Next up, to make this look like a true built-in, I need to actually build a base, and I'm building a base that's 8 inches high, which is as high as my baseboards. Okay, today's a big day. I want to remove the baseboards, add the bases underneath, secure it, and then add the baseboard back on. So I don't know if I'm getting all that done. Let's just start and see how it goes. Hard to get off. What's really important about this long piece is that I don't break it. It's like 10 feet tall, 10 feet long I should say, and it's one piece, and I need to use it on the front of my like cabinet. So very important that we take this one off and it doesn't break. Here we go. I just kept telling myself, don't break it, don't break it. So I tried to pull it off really gently. Success! Now we can add the bases in, and let's see how this little bench looks. Uh-oh, after setting in the Besta units on top, I realized my base was too tall. Instead of a comfy window seat, I accidentally built a mini stage. Not what I was going for. Okay, I just decided that this is not like practical, so I am going to take this off, disassemble the base. I'm actually just really mad because the lumber for the base cost like 50 bucks. And I wasted like, you know, a day and a half. It's life. Okay, it's life. So I think I'm just gonna, I don't know if I'm even gonna build the base. I have to think about this. And that's the way DIY goes sometimes. So back to the drawing board. To repurpose this wood, I just thought that I would flip this base on the side, and that way it would be just flatter. And it would still give a little bit of a built-in look, but I could actually touch my feet to the ground. So this is that original baseboard that I cut down, or I took off of the wall, and I'm gonna use my table saw to just trim off a portion because I want to have like the same kind of look, even though it's not going to be the same height. I'm really glad I was able to get this off in one piece, and now this way I was able to repurpose this because trim can be pretty expensive. So before I attach this pseudo baseboard that I just cut, I actually need to scribe out the profile of the baseboard, because this is gonna butt up against each other. If you don't, you're gonna get like a really ugly edge. Now I've never done this, but it seems simple enough. You just trace the shape and cut it with your jigsaw. I've never done any sort of scribing, but it wasn't too hard. I just traced the profile of the baseboard, and the scribing looks pretty good, but I think because my walls were not level, I actually had this little gap, so I just cut an extra piece of trim and filled it in. After we would fill it, no one would really be able to tell. I also need to add a couple of filler pieces to the sides of my Besta benches to make it look like a true built-in. You know, we don't want any of those awkward gaps. Using a nail gun, I carefully secured the trim baseboards to the front of the Besta units as well as the spacers. Do your best and caulk the rest. So whatever spaces you still have left over, don't worry about them too much. Just use your caulk to help fill in those gaps. Okay, today I'm going to start building the window bench, like the actual seat for it. So I've got this fabric, and it's just like a really neutral fabric, but it's like a good thick fabric. And I'm going to use like a foam topper that you would use for a bed. It's just like the most inexpensive way to do it, and it shouldn't be too hard. We're just going to staple it on. To cut it down to the exact size of my bench, I used a bread knife. Yep, you heard right, a bread knife. It actually cuts through the foam really smoothly without any jagged edges. If you have an electric knife, that works even better. Next, I cut a piece of plywood to match the exact size of the foam. This plywood base will add structure and keep the cushion firm. Plus, it helps you actually have something to staple your fabric onto. Now it's time to upholster our cushion. I chose a thick, durable fabric in a neutral tone that complements my space. I placed the foam on top of the plywood, then wrap the fabric around both, pulling it tight and securing it with my staple gun. Having an electric staple gun is really helpful, otherwise you're gonna get some pretty bad hand cramps. For a clean professional look, I made sure to tuck the corners neatly before stapling them in place. If you're going for a more polished look, you can definitely sew the fabric on with a zipper, but this is something that anyone could do without any sewing experience. I'm pretty excited because I'm ready to paint my cabinet. So before painting, I lightly sanded the entire bench, especially the edges and the corners, to make sure the paint would properly adhere. We're finally ready to paint the cabinet, so I'm using this kit. This is the first time I'm actually using this kit, which does not require a primer. I did a light scuff sand. You could do that by hand. I just did it with the sander. But basically, it comes with like the paint, and then it also comes with a top coat. So you can add the top coat if you're gonna be like using this in a high traffic area. Like for me, I would be, because my kids will be slamming the drawers all the time. We're gonna start by just using the cleaner. So this cleaner, you're actually supposed to leave on for like 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll just start. Okay, so now when you wipe this, you also wanna make sure you wipe the edges, because you're gonna paint the edges too, right? So get all around. How do you feel about this color? Because as I started painting this, I felt really uncertain that this beige wasn't quite right. And then I ignored my gut and proceeded to paint the entire cabinet. Okay, so actually this is not giving the vibes I wanted to give. It is so beige, and that's like not me. So I went back, sanded it down again, and this time I used a primer to create a smooth base before repainting. So I got a new kit yesterday, and I'm using the color, it's called Tate Green. So it's gonna be a lot more sagey, and I feel like that's like way more my vibe, because like, check out what I'm wearing. It was honestly like, the color wasn't that bad, but it was just too much beige for me. Like, I'm not a beige on beige kind of person, right? So we'll get to painting the cabinets. I'm just really excited to see this color go on, and I think the contrast with like the window seat should be really nice. I can already tell you this is gonna be so much better. Okay, let's go. We'll start by cutting in all the corners. This color is everything. I immediately knew that this was the color I needed to give the bench a high-end custom feel that I absolutely loved. Now the cool thing about this kit is that it comes with an extra top coat, and I've never used a top coat before, so I was a little bit weary of how this would look. Honestly, when I put on the first coat of the top coat, it was really milky and I was freaking out, but I just thought I have to trust the process. So the next day I came back and did another top coat, after which point it looked completely seamless. Now, to make this look really high-end, I chose an oversized handle. I think this just looks so good with the green and the brass. I'm a huge fan of this color combination. That's so good. That is so good. I got these shades, and they're actually like to plug in. Now the thing is that I don't really want this cord visible, and I don't really need the light because there's actually 2 pot lights in this little nook. So I've been nervous about this, but we're just gonna do it. I'm gonna cut it off, and it's gonna be simply aesthetic, which is fine. And if down the line I want the light, then, well, I'll have to get a LED light bulb. I'm doing it, I'm doing it. It's done. So now this is just an aesthetic thing. This little sconce is so cute. I love how it really adds so much character to this little nook. Are you ready to see the reveal of this IKEA Besta built-in hack? Guys, it is so good. I can't believe that I made this look so custom and built-in just with IKEA cabinets. As a reminder, here's this empty space I had in my living room. And this is it, a fully customized built-in IKEA Besta bench that looks high-end but was completely budget-friendly. I love how this turned out. It's stylish, it's functional, and it's perfect for extra storage. What do you think about the final result? Let me know in the comments. So I absolutely love how this window seat turned out. I think this is like the perfect little corner to just sit and read a book or scroll. And I think it adds like a lot of extra seating into our living room, which we really needed. And it's such an easy beginner level project, which I really think anyone could do. So if you love this project, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more budget DIYs.